A short while ago, Arise correspondent Olutayo Famous Cole gave us an update of the situation at the site of the explosion in Ibadan, Oyo State, as well as an interaction with the incident manager, Professor Temitope Alonge. For more on this tragedy, for more on what this tragedy means for the historical city of Ibadan, safety and security of the residents, as well as the ease of doing business, we are now being joined by a Rise analyst, Mr. Dayo Sobowale. It's good to have you, as usual, on Newsday. Unfortunately, the topic of discussion is not so pleasurable. But when we look at this case and seeing that the explosives itself came from illegal miners storing such dangerous explosives in a residential area, what does that even say when we look at it, on a grand space? What does that mean for the people of Ibadan when we look at how this rocked the metropolis?
Well, I don't believe in exaggerations. It's a tragic occasion, all right, unexpected. But what is strange about it, given the level of insecurity in the country, all over, they killed over 100 people in part 2 over Christmas. What happened since then? So I'm not downplaying this, but it should not be exaggerated at the same time. It's a one-off situation. The way it is being carried and it is being given attention, it's as if Ibadan is being invaded by people throwing explosives all over the place. It's a one-off situation. I pray it is, and it should be managed diligently with the aim of finding the source of it and preventing a repetition. That's how I take it from now. Already you have an incident manager. Then you have this disaster management institutions rushing in. Look, they should not amplify it. They should manage it and make sure it is a one-off situation. And we move on from there. What's your next question?
Well, thank you for your point. You say it's a one-off situation, and you pray it is, but we don't know that it is, which is why it appears all hands are on deck, and they're keeping some vehicles. I believe that Shaito, he did say that some vehicles have been taken to the Oyo State Ministry of Environment to ensure that there are no explosives or whatever. But now, even though you think or you're hoping that it's a one-off, there are some people who are saying that in the past, a certain group has threatened that they would carry out something of this sort in the southwest, and they're thinking that it might have to do with this based on all the other incidents that are taking place around the country.
That's it. You are reading a different dimension. Which is credible too. It is credible.
Okay, but my question, I'm not withdrawing. My question is for those that don't feel a sense of safety and don't deem this a one-off, how do they keep relative sanity and ensure that they can still dwell in their community safely?
Okay. Don't misunderstand me. I'm hoping that it is a one-off, and that's the end of it. The picture of Ibadan looking like Gaza, it's not something to be recommended to anybody. What I'm telling you, people are being killed all over this country in the north on a daily basis, so that it is making people immune to tragedies. That is one. And secondly, disaster management institutions have always benefited from the management of this sort of disaster. You know what is succor or relief management efforts. You know what is going on with the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management and all that. You see, we should not add this to that list. Because very soon now, you see that funds are being provided. The governor said they will take people to hospitals. Why will they take them to hospitals? They should find a way of housing them somewhere. They should not copy American example of taking illegal immigrants from Texas to New York and other cities that we give them hotel rooms to say where there are homeless people roaming around. Get my point. I'm trying to say that this is a disaster that is not expected. Get me? And it is happening in the southwest. I hopefully pray it is a one-off situation. But there are far, far more terrible things happening in this country now that are ignored than the single and I hope one-off explosion in Ibadan.
But when we look at it in the broader context, we did see the head of the emergency operations mentioning the deployment of medical teams and psychological support for survivors. So it's a two-part question. I want to know how you feel, how vital this is in its response, and then how can incidents like this Ibadan explosion, prompt a reassessment of safety regulations and enforcement, especially in the storage of explosive materials?
Now you are getting to the root of the matter. The root of the matter is the explosive was stored. You don't store explosive in people where people are living. You store them in excluded areas. And they said a Malian who has been living in that area, maybe he caught a whiff that there was some fire. He evacuated his family and ran away. But they said this same Malian had lived in certain areas of Ibadan before, and people had protested to the police, and they had gone there. But obviously, they have not been able to ascertain it. Of course, I doubt if they will see him. But you see, this thing has been linked to illegal mining. But the governor himself still says they are doing investigation. Because some people are saying it is gas explosion. So, you see, the disaster is horrible. It's condemnable. But let's get at the root of it so that it does not repeat itself. That is my own story. But we should not because I'm skeptical about health management or disaster management methods. I say I'm skeptical.
Why are you
because
skeptical?
people, you see what is happening all over the country. Distribute money to people who are in need and all that, and then people become billionaires over that. You get me? Look at COVID. They wanted to make COVID, magnify COVID. They wanted to lock us our economy like in Europe. Whereas in Europe, it was killing 1,000 people a day. Up until the end, I don't think they killed up to 5,000 Nigerians. You get me? And some, don't use health management, disaster management measures to escalate problems or exaggerate reactions, in which some people inadvertently benefit from. That is my take. Yes.
Okay, well, it looks like some ministries might need to go back to the drawing board to do their homework, since it's been the suspect in this case is said to hail from Mali. So
living in Ibadan.
Yes, so my wonder, like, how did he get into the country? Was it legal? Was it a legal migration situation? Was it illegal? Were there background checks?
I will tell you what I found out.
So I'm talking now as regards for instance, Shaitan, help me here. Regarding what ministry should the immigration, when it comes to immigration, do we see some tightening when it comes to that based on this?
You don't understand the geography of the area. You see, they have mentioned illegal mining. Illegal mining goes on in the southwest. You get me? In Lesa, they have gold there. But you see, mining is not under control of the states. It's under the control of the federal government. You see, I don't want, because you have mentioned mining, I don't want us to be discussing mining, because I can say a word or two about mining. You see, government has always threatened to ban mining. But those who are in the industry, they have their miners association. They are not a legitimate association. They are saying, no, government should license them and help them to add to the economy. Because we say we are diversifying our economy from oil. We have immense resources that we don't even know they exist. Okay, like the World Economic Forum going on in Davos. A Nigerian legislator, I've forgotten his name, he used to have an insurance company. He spoke there and urged investors to come to those states that they are bitumen, almost over 460 billion waiting to be exploited. Get me? That is in Davos. You see, my own suggestion in that regard is that you are a federation. People always want to concentrate powers in federal lands. If these constituent states, especially in the southwest, Zamfara, and north central, they have this thing to develop themselves. Why don't you devolve that power for them to license You get me? And use that to develop their states.
Yes.
You see, but in our own sort of federation, we always think that if some states have some powers, they will be bigger than the center. That you see, the parts will be bigger than the whole. But then that's the essence of federation. I keep on mentioning the example of Hamburg, former federal republic. It has oil, it has minerals. It contributes to the national coffers. It does not take from the national revenue. So let's look, this is Ibadan thing. Don't let us frighten ourselves to death over it. It's a tragedy, but let us manage it. And hopefully the security will force us to step in and make it a one-off situation.
All right, then. Thank you so much.